In the past 13 months, 6 inmates have died while in custody inside the Cobb County Jail. Now, one inmate's family is filing a wrongful death lawsuit against the sheriff's office and the jail's current medical provider, Wellstar. Joe Hankey has a copy of the lawsuit. Joe?
Well, Jeff, last year the Cobb County medical examiner ruled Reginald Wilson's death was caused by dehydration due to bipolar disorder and listed the cause of death as natural. In a lawsuit now filed by Wilson's family, they claim the jail failed to provide Wilson proper medical care during his 9 days in the Cobb County Jail.
The lawsuit the family of Reginald Wilson filed claims while he needed immediate psychiatric attention while inside the Cobb County Jail, he never was seen by a psychiatrist. Cobb County Sheriff Neil Warren, Wellstar Health System, as well as several deputies and medical professionals are listed as defendants. The lawsuit details Wilson being booked into the jail, a nurse noting him having bipolar disorder and acting bizarre, and then during his time as an inmate, several others noted Wilson showing signs of psychosis. The plaintiffs claim, though, at no point did the jail psychiatrist see Wilson. The lawsuit also alleges while in custody, Wilson smeared his own feces around his cell and failed to eat or drink. The defendants entirely failed to provide him with adequate supervision or care during this time, the plaintiffs claim. Instead, they merely documented his downward spiral until his death. Wilson's death on December 29, 2018 would be followed by 5 more inmate deaths at the jail in 2019. The county medical examiner ruled Wilson's death to be from natural causes. As for the other inmates, one was ruled accidental, another a suicide, another from natural causes, and 2 are still being investigated. In Wilson's autopsy, the medical examiner wrote Wilson died from dehydration due to bipolar disorder and mentioned certain mental illnesses can lead to dehydration. The ME described the jail providing adequate food and water, but Wilson consumed only a small amount. Video the ME watched showed Wilson being very active in his cell, but over time became sluggish and eventually became unresponsive.
And Wilson's family also claim in the suit that the Cobb County Sheriff's Office refuses to release video and documents related to his death, which they believe are in violation of Georgia's Open Records Act. I contacted both the Sheriff's Office and Wellstar today about the lawsuit. Both told me they do not discuss active lawsuits. Jeff?
Thank you, Joe. The Cobb County case is eerily similar to a lawsuit filed over an inmate's death in Rockdale County. A grand jury there found the staff failed to recognize Shali Tilson's declining mental state when he was being held inside the jail, but its report concluded that no single person was responsible for his death. And like the Cobb case, Tilson's official cause of death was listed as related to dehydration.